Yeah, I just want to speak about this certain individual called Wheat Waffles. He's a YouTuber. Maybe a lot of you already know him. Pretty much, he's a guy. He just brings out a lot of black pill content, and he has a bunch of incels subscribe to him and paying him for face ratings. Now, with me personally, I've never been into rating a man's face because I find it a bit sus. But this is what this man does for a living, and obviously this is his business, is how he makes money. And these incels are tricked like he's actually helping them, but in fact he's just making money off them. Because it makes perfect sense. You bring out videos on how to make men feel insecure about themselves, and they feel insecure about themselves, and it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. You bring out more videos to make them feel more insecure about themselves, so it becomes an obsessive habit and a compulsion. But here's one of the points I want to touch on. Now listen, I'm not accusing the man of this, but it doesn't add up to me. A lot of his rating system and the way he breaks it down to a science, right, and statistics and stuff like this. But I'm going to use this isolated example. There's another YouTuber called Hamza. He's more about, self-improvement content, actually helping men more than Wheat Waffles is just. It's like this. Hamza is a tall man. He has a beard. He's just average looking guy in my opinion. This is the thing. I can't rate men like that. But Wheat Waffles rated him a 6, and then he rated himself a 6 also. And mind you, this is a man who takes money off of men for his apparent, accurate ratings, which I think is impossible. One man can rate another man, a heterosexual man, and it'd be completely accurate. Forget all the, like, science and statistics, because human attraction goes deeper than that, because what he would view on paper and the guy like a 4, another woman might find a 6 or a 7. You can never know what a certain woman is attracted to. I agree there's thresholds, but listen, he rated himself a 6 and he's on the same level as Hamza. I was just like, how's that possible by your logic? Hamza's taller than you, he has a beard, he has a better physique than you. If this was just a face rating, but he was speaking on a podcast with him, so he knows a lot more about Hamza. So his height, his build, his face, and this is from a man who's pale, ginger, has no beard. It looks like he has yellow teeth at times, and just looks like a com- complete beta male. So I don't get it. Is he rating himself the same level as a Hamza because Hamza's Asian, and if he was white, he'd rate Hamza more? I'm not accusing him of that, but I kind of think maybe it is to do, because he said a lot of thing about Asians in his videos, like Asian men are that. Like, here's the thing about him. What I found out, he lives in a predominantly white area, so the only Asians he's probably ever interacted with on a big basis is delivery drivers and old men who work in shops. Because I tell you, there's a lot of Asian men in major cities where they're more predominant and they do very well with women. I see him with women all the time, more women than him, because the last time I checked his he said his body count, it was like 2 or 3. And that doesn't surprise me, because a dude just looks like a nerd to be around, just an insecure man, making these ratings and benefiting off other insecure men. It's just, the dude, it's just, just weird. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, what I found, if I was Hamza, I'd be offended, because I'd be like, yo, you're rating you, which is just a nerdy looking ginger pale guy with no beard, the same level as me. And, I think Hamza would get more women than he does. It's just strange to me. It really is strange. And Wheat Waffles is the type of guy to clown other men's looks and all this, but it's evident why he doesn't get women. He fits in a category of, like, if you put in a woman's perspective, and I know I said this earlier, it's hard to judge men heterosexually, but if you're looking at his age group, the women are quite young, they're university age. They like a bit of excitement, a little bit of maybe a danger aspect, just, a little bit of excitement. So maybe they go for, a guy who's ripped, a guy who know they it's gonna be, hard, tying him down, exciting. They're like a thrill. Maybe a gangster type looking guy. When they're young, they're stupid like that. And Wheat Waffles doesn't fit any of this criteria. In my opinion, he looks still like a virgin. Why would a woman who's 21, has all the options, go with someone who's just so boring and plain and is fragile in his insecurities? And the man's just, of course, he doesn't get women. He has no cool factor about him. And swag is one of the things you can't buy. You can't buy that shit, you know? And he's always talking about men's height also, which I do agree there's thresholds and it becomes harder the shorter you are. But I know plenty of short men that get a lot more pussy than he does. He's what? I'm pretty sure 20, in his early 20s, and he's only on a free body count. I know dudes from school who were short and they were getting plenty of women, and to this current day they are what, like 25, 26, and they still get laid. And these are short dudes talking to 5'4" to 5'8", and they're all getting laid more than him. Why? Because they had a certain factor about them. They were interesting people to women. They had a certain factor, the attraction to them. Wheat Waffles doesn't. You saw that nerd in that podcast, pale and trying to speak all analytically in his spare time, making videos rating men's faces like it's an accurate rating. I guarantee if I put his face and put it out in the middle of the street, I asked 100 women, what would you rate this guy? They won't rate him anywhere above a 5, in my opinion. And I guarantee none, maybe some will give him a generous rating, maybe, but I tell you, none of them will be frothing to see him like, oh, damn, yeah, he's my type, like that. None would say, they're not interested in dudes like Wheat Waffles. He just looks just nerdy, awkward, and weird. And these men are oppressed in society. They get mad because other, you know, minorities come to their country and do better with their women than they are. And the only thing he can go off is dating apps because he has no real life experience. It's proven, I agree, that minorities do less well on dating apps, but you have to look at it logically. The majority on people on dating apps is white men, you know, and 20% of mainly white women. All the top tier men of these minorities aren't really on dating apps. You have to realize they already have women in real life. It's only probably sub 5 men who are just awkward, weird, and don't look after themselves, who are on these dating apps, and they get the less matches, and there's less of them anyway. All the high value men of any race usually don't waste time scrolling on dating apps. I mean, they could and find, but they already have women around them, so they feel no need. They already have circles, they know people. They don't find scrolling on an app. That's where men who don't have circles, don't have them women they can interact, they're the ones who go on the apps. So you can't just make it all bland and everything's black and white and add no context and just say this is that and this is that, this me. It talks in such a robotic voice, like everything is definite. And this is coming from a man who's only he could be lying. He only slept with 3 women. He could be even lying about that. And it doesn't surprise me why he's had such little success in his almost over 20 decades of 2 decades of living. But anyway, that's just my opinions on Wheat Waffles. I think all black pill channels are trash, in my opinion. I'll maybe do another video on that, but I'm not sure how many views this video will get. If it gets quite a bit and there's like dick riding incels leaving comments, like, feel free to. Just know that man's benefiting off your misery. And for the guys who know what's what, look out, man. Look out. This world is becoming a sad place where you got losers like that, benefiting off the probably young, uneducated, vulnerable men. It's sad. Just because this ginger guy can get some money. It's a shame, But anyway, take care, guys.